Hi all, my name is Sarah Thomason and I'm focusing on the fourth grade measurement and data standard. This focuses specifically on solving problems involving measurement and conversions of measurements. The first part of the standards has students knowing the relative measurement units within a system such as distance, time, weight. And then the student should be able to express the measurements into larger or smaller units within a system. They should be able to record the measurements inside a two-column table to be able to express the data. The second part of the standard builds off of that one into then the students being able to solve word problems for systems such as this and being able to convert them into larger or smaller units, but then further expressing their measurements into diagrams such as line diagrams or measurement scales. Then the students are finally at the third point where they are focusing on applying the area and perimeter formulas for real world math problems. On this page, I included a Numberrock video. It could be used as an opener to get the students kind of thinking about the different measurements for distance and being able to convert them and understand that they make up each other. So I'll play a short little amount of this so we can see it.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it. We know we can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet.
So as you can see, it's a pretty catchy song, so students should be able to memorize it and kind of be able to use it throughout the standard and while they're solving their problems. So the goal of this standard is to have students be able to express their measurements and data into two-column tables. They should also be able to understand that measurements can be converted into larger or smaller units in a given system. The essential questions really focus on how do units of measurements compare to each other. So they should really understand that inches and feet or seconds and hours have a relationship to one another, and that's how they kind of tie hand in hand. How can we convert these units into different units? The students will be able to understand then how to properly use a two-column diagram to express measurements. Students can be a little confused on how the measurements convert into a completely different unit. That's why I think it's so important for them to understand that the measurements are related to one another. I have a technology connection that I included on here. It's a little video, same as the Numberrock one right here. It's, as mentioned before, can be used as an opener of some sort or just to get students thinking about the conversions.
A millimeter you can understand is about as long as a grain of sand. When you buy food at lunchtime, it's about the thickness of a dime. A staple from side to side is about a centimeter.
So as mentioned before, it's a little catchy and gets students kind of thinking about focusing on measurements and how measurements actually are. For an example, you could use daily routines. This activity that I thought would be great for this focuses on students kind of doing, discussing with one another about a problem or units of measurement, and they'll work through filling in a two-column table with their group and discuss then how the different ways that you can solve it and different strategies used for solving this. It's very similar to like Number Talk, which many students are familiar with. This is perfect and easy for us as educators to assess the students because you can walk around while they're discussing it with their groups or while we're having an open classroom talk, and see which students really are understanding and grasping the concept and which students are having a little more challenges with this. Another perfect way to assess the students would be an exit ticket. I think exit tickets are great just to have even a simple question such as, how did you feel about this lesson? Or were you a little confused? Or a thumbs up, thumbs down, how you felt about it. Exit tickets are really awesome. Daily routines would be perfect to help students build the fluency within this standard. We move on then to the 5th grade measurement and data standard, which again is converting like measurement units within a given measurement system. This one focuses on converting the different size measurements in a given system and then using the conversions to solve real world problems. Over here, I included a little math is real life picture. This is great just because students often ask, how is this related to us? How am I ever going to use this? That's why this standard I think is perfect because it really helps students use it in their real life. So then unpacking the standard over here, students should be again able to by the end convert the measurements within a given unit of measurement in a system. They'll understand how they're used in real life situations. So for this, they already have been working on the tables and diagrams filling in. So they already know how they're kind of related to one another. They already know the different tools used to measure, like how to find the time, the distance, etc. They should be able to convert them by using different skills to solve the conversions of it. Over here, I included a short video. I thought this was interesting to show the class. It's a TED Talk, and it just talks about the metric system and the different measurements and systems we use to measure things and how it's relative to our real life. So I think it really aligns with this standard perfect and would be a great way for students to kind of go into the lesson. An example of this could be a project-based learning. In a group, the students could be given a task to complete a measurement of a real life scenario. So having each student take on a role would be a great way to start this assignment, and having them fill in tables and find the measurements of a classroom. So how big the classroom is, and they can choose to measure in yards or feet. And then drawing a poster to represent this, but converting it into a different unit of measurement. So if you measure the classroom, let's say in feet, then converting it into inches or centimeters on a paper to represent it. This would be great and get the students to really understand how it could be used in real life scenarios and situations. The students would be assessed then again by the teachers, walking around and listening to the students really discuss it with each other and what kind of questions are being asked. They can also be assessed by having them present what their findings were to the class and just show exactly how they solved it. And this also is a great learning opportunity then for the other groups to see how they could have gone about it.